Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in a series, Czech versus Infi, game 2 taking place here on Echo Isle. Czech spawning as the blue night elf on the top left hand side of the map, meanwhile Infi has spawned as the teal human. We'll see what's going to be going down here on this particular map, as we are already looking at pretty standard builds coming in from Infi and from Czech. It looks as though it will be an Ancient of War creep coming in from Czech. We'll see if he does go for a Warden or if he tries to go for a Demon Hunter. Warden seems to be the hero of choice. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Mountain King once more, as Infi has been really favoring that Mountain King over that Archmage. Mountain King, a very, very strong solo hero, especially on a map like Echo Isle. Just because of how important your primary heroes are, Mountain King being able to deal so much damage, and really Infi just playing a great game in game number 1. If you guys did not check that one out, please definitely do so, as we're now going to be seeing the Warden come into the game here. Alright, Peasant trying to wander around here, trying to perhaps try and pick up that Troll Shadow Priest. No real such luck as of yet, as the Lightning Shield is coming across, dealing a little bit more damage. Double Wisp healing the one Ancient of War off over here, and it looks as though Czech will be able to clear out this creep camp, picking up a Ring of Regeneration. And those Rings of Regeneration, although they are very, very strong in the early portion of the game, oftentimes players do like to get that additional 200 gold or try and free up that spot for something a little bit later. Alright, Kobold Geomancer is going to get taken down. Meanwhile, Mountain King has picked up a Troll Shadow Priest for himself. He is sitting at level 2, and he did pick up a Ring of Protection +3. Ring of Protection +3 effectively gives you 18% more effective hit points. Just believe me on the math, as we are now looking at across over here. Mountain King picking up some items as well, as we're looking at the Mountain King cleaning up this Null Poacher creep camp. Now, we should perhaps be looking at a handful of militia making their way back down again, and it looks like Infi will be doing exactly that. Infi looking to do a very, very strong creep clear of this location here. Should be able to creep out this Ogre Magi creep camp, take it down pretty fast, and then be able to set up that expansion. Now, Echo Isle is a map that is relatively small with very, very limited resources. The gold mine here will end up being the only expansion that you can take, unlike Tyrannus Stand. Infi will have to be very, very conscientious of going into tier 2 with an expansion. Expansions do cost additional supply just because you have more peasants working the gold line, so you end up trying to push into low upkeep. I have often seen games where the player who mines the most gold and loses the least amount of gold to upkeep ends up being the winner, because they're just able to get that much further ahead. Quick selling of items there. Wow, sold the Scroll of Town Portal, sold the Ring of Protection +3, picked up Staff of Teleportation and Boots of Speed, as the Mountain King was hoping to get perhaps a bash onto that Warden there. Meanwhile, back across over here, we are going to see the Mountain King going to be able to go ahead and spot this down over here. He wants to see what else is available. He's going to notice that the Ogre Magi's have not been cleared out, or that creep camp has not been cleared out. Hence, he is not going to be able to push that all too readily. Infi is setting up a scout tower down over here. Meanwhile, it looks as though Czech is going into Tree of Ages, not going into early Huntresses off of dual Ancients of War, only a single Ancient of War. And we'll see whether or not the Blacksmith comes down in order to transition into Rifleman. Rifleman, very, very common in this matchup here, but with the mercenary camps so easily available, picking up those Troll Berserkers could be a very, very strong option as well. Troll Shadow Priest also deals 17 to 24 damage, and with that piercing damage, does really push that over the top once again. Mountain King, however, cannot go toe-to-toe with an Ancient of War there. Is going to be forced to back off. Meanwhile, off to the north here, we'll see where these Huntresses are going. That Huntress still looking very, very strong, very high on health, as we're looking at, well, the Arcane Tower about to be completed, and Infi now going to be able to play a very, very long tier 1 game, especially if he does set up a scout farm here so that he can start buying something from that mercenary camp. Mountain King is going to be coming by there. There is a hit. Oh, wow. Does not go for the Troll Shadow Priest. I thought he would have instantly just hit the Troll Shadow Priest and then bolted him for the quick kill. and then try and gain experience that way. Infi deciding to bolt down the Warden instead. I'm not quite sure if I agree with that. Bolting the Warden again, and now teleporting away. Alright, that does not look like that strong of an option. Meanwhile, the Warden is regenerating those hit points very, very quickly right now. As you can see, Nightfall plus Ring of Regeneration. Very, very fast regeneration here, as the Warden now knows that that Mountain King is low on hit points and will not be able to harass him for a little while longer. Now, Arcane Vaults have not been placed down as of yet, just now being started. It is going to get healed up here in just a moment, as the Mountain King is the only unit that is relatively low on hit points. Mountain King doing a little bit of chase, that Nightcrawler wanting to spread out all of that poison damage across multiple units. Very difficult to try and attack since he is constantly on the move, letting that damage over time maximize damage across additional units as well. Alright, Footmen. Gonna be, a little bit worse for wear here. Troll Shadow Priests are now getting low on mana, and without the Archmage, that is the problem that human players have. No real easy way to try and stay constantly healed. The Troll Shadow Priest may decide to turn off their auto heal so that he can go ahead and use that Scroll of Regeneration instead. No, Infi is going to be running out of mana very, very quickly on those units there, as the Mountain King now picks up a second Scroll of Regeneration as well. We are now going to be moving out across the center here. Warden is seeing that level 3, and Check is in a fairly good spot right now. You're going to see a bolt though. Wow, oh, this could be very, very bad news, and it looks like what was a very, very good spot. The Mountain King blindsiding the Warden, taking her down. Low hit point unit. There is another bolt right there. Check going to lose another unit. And I take it back. All of those earlier bolts set up for the Mountain King to be able to snipe down that unit. Infi somehow looking into the crystal ball, knowing, you know what, I'll eventually get that Warden anyways. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the Tree of Life. Taking a lot of damage, is going to get forced to cancellation there. Mountain King now running away, as the Ancient of War is going to end up getting taken down now. Troll Shadow Priest and Troll Berserkers do deal a lot of damage to an Ancient of War, even though the Ancient of War does have 7 armor. Because he is not rooted, he does not have fortified armor, as the Mountain King going to laugh all the way home just a bit. Alright, the Warden now wandering around here. Mountain King deciding to engage. No, decides against it. Mountain King gonna be playing this extremely close here, and then decides to Stormbolt and now take down a unit, getting up to level 4 now. And he is purposely just running off in this direction here. Is he gonna staff with teleportation? Yes, he will. He is gonna be able to teleport back down, buying himself a little bit of time, picking up a Tome of Strength +2, and still moving on his merry way. Mountain King very, very high on hit points, over 1,000 hit points just sitting at level 4. Huntress is trying to bring up the rear, knowing that things are a little bit in a dangerous spot for them. The Footmen, however, not going to be able to outrun, as the Mountain King going to be bringing up the rear. Are we going to see an engagement here? There's the Mountain King, and there we are. There's an engagement. Bolt, Bash, taking it down. And talk about a curious trade. That's the perfect trade right there. Trading the Huntress for a Scroll of Town Portal, but ensuring that you got the shot off first. Alright, Mountain King is getting in a little bit more healing. There's a Clarity Potion. There is that Potion of Mana. You can see that the Warden is now sitting at level 4, as both sides are going to try and engage right here. Alright, are we going to see a bolt onto the Troll Shadow Priest? There it goes. Mountain King going to get very close to level 5. Troll Shadow Priest Troll Shadow Priest unable to abolish magic there, as the Warden now being forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal quickly. Oh my goodness, wow, that Huntress seemed to be so low on life, but nothing was attacking it. All the range units just too far away, as we are now going into triple Griffin Aviaries. Alright, this is going to be a definite play on Dragonhawk Riders. We are waiting on when we will be getting those triple Dragonhawk Riders. Level 1 weapons upgrade also coming online, but the Wisp does spot this all, so that is a very, very big deal. Knowing that, you know what, my opponent is going to be going very, very heavy Hippogriff Riders. How do you counter that? Well, excuse me, not heavy Hippogriff Riders, very heavy Dragonhawks. Alright, here you go. There is a bolt once again onto the Warden. Warden, however, not taking too much damage there, and it looks like the Troll Shadow Priest does get taken down. Drew to the Claw. trying to stay alive right there, and the Mountain King is going to split the defense, head back the other way, and perhaps try and make sure that this tree of life never entangles this gold mine. 36 over 60 supply compared to 48 over 66, as Infi still has not trained up any Dragonhawk riders yet. Alright, Footmen do have the Fendo. They are going to be reflecting some of that damage back, as the Arcane Tower does feed back some of that damage as well. Alright, Mountain King just making sure that this entangled gold mine never really gets up, constantly getting destroyed, and that Mountain King can just sit here all day, delaying little bits of gold constantly. About a 2,500 gold difference, but somehow Czech is able to hold on to things currently without really falling too far behind. Mountain King attempting to take down the entangled gold mine. Should be able to do this one more time. Yes, does it again. Staff of teleportation away. Constant annoyance as he teleports back home. Now gonna perhaps not gonna be picking up any items, as the Blood Mage is now out. Alright, Siphon mana back into that Mountain King. Mountain King high on mana once again. Stormbolt onto the Gargantuan Sea Turtle, allowing that Gargantuan Sea Turtle to... Well, is he going to take down that Footman? No, he is not. Siphon mana. Blood Mage pretty much out of mana already, picking up a Pure Up of Vitality as well. And we'll see what will be happening here. Scroll of Healing should be given back to that Blood Mage, as the Blood Mage is now using that mana battery strategy. Alright, Staff of Sanctuary has been picked up. Let's take a look at this. Triple Griffin Aviaries. Still not training up anything as of yet. Going into level 3 Mithril upgrades on the Footman and any air unit that comes out of this Griffin Aviary. One Griffin Rider now being added into the air here, as we're going to be looking at the Tavern now. Well, perhaps training up another... Nope, Tavern not doing anything. Just a little bit of a scout farm there. Alright, what are Czech's options at this point? Czech does have the Ancients of Wind, and he knows that he needs them. He is training up one Hippogriff Rider so far in order to try and deal with those units. Mountain King sitting at level 4 though. Blood Mage still sitting at level 2, as we're still sitting... we are now in low upkeep. Triple training Griffins. So it is going to be Griffins instead of what I originally thought to be Dragonhawk Riders. That is going to be questionable, as Czech is going to be getting more and more Dryads to try and counteract this. You can take a look. There is a couple of Hippogriffs in the air right now. Dryads now engaging. Gargantuan Sea Turtle going to go ahead and engage, as well as the Warden may be able to get up to level 6. This is going to be a big question. If the Warden can get to level 6, what is really going to stop that Warden? That Warden, so incredibly strong with that Avatar of Vengeance. Level 5 just now hitting. So with the number of Griffins in the air, it should be relatively easy to get to level 6, since Griffins do tend to fall apart to Dryads and Hippogriff Riders. Warden gonna finish off this Gargantuan Sea Turtle there, picks up a Pendant of Energy, already up to 525 mana. Meanwhile, one Griffin is in the air. Blood Mage ready to go. Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing. Mountain King sitting at level 4 with the Scroll of Healing as well. The perfect counter to all of that Fan of Knife action that may be coming in momentarily. Mountain King now looking to back off here. One creep camp is all that is left. It still has that Ogre Magi. Mountain King may opt to try and clear it. He does have the army to do so. 34 to 88 magic damage if bears are gonna be engaged. All right, there is a bolt onto a unit there. Hippogriffs are doing a very strong chase. Staff of Sanctuary, there is a Shadow Strike onto a Forest Troll Berserker, and those Hippogriffs are just gonna be trying to poke apart these Griffins. All right, I think it was perhaps a big mistake there, as we now see the Dragonhawk Riders are now going to try and engage. There is a couple of ensnares or shackles in the air, but they are going to get quickly picked apart. Banishing the Dragonhawk Rider in order to ensure that it stays alive. All right, banishing those Dragonhawk Riders, as all of those units now get taken down. Level 6 on that Warden, and that is huge. Level 6 on the Warden, protected from any sort of craziness, and that now we have the Avatar of Vengeance coming into play. All right, Avatar of Vengeance. You can see the Warden may try and engage right there. The Warden does not want to engage just quite yet. As you can see, the Hippogriffs are just poking apart and tearing apart all of those Hippogriffs. Hippogriff Riders. All right, Dragonhawk Riders now in the air. 3-1 upgrade, still not enough. Paladin now rounding out the human trifecta as the Blood Mage now needs to lick his wounds as Infi needs to come up with a new strategy in order to get back into this game. All right, let's come back across over here. Avatar of Vengeance, still sitting with plenty of time on that timer. Warden sitting at level 6. Any easy place to find some skeletons? Not that I currently see. Mountain King now being brought over as well. And the Mountain King is going to try and shut down that Warden. But that Warden is just so incredibly powerful. But then again, Stormbolt even onto an archer is going to take him down without much of an issue. Warden sitting at level 6 right now, also picking up an anti-magic potion. The Druids of the Claw are now going to be able to stick around. As we see, there are only a lot of Dragonhawk Riders. Hippogriffs are still out and about. Dryads are also down, but with so many Hippogriffs out, the Dragonhawk Riders have to be extremely careful. Banish may once more play a very important role in this upcoming fight, as we see an ensnare go down on a Dragonhawk Rider. The Dragonhawk Rider taking a little bit of damage right there. Meanwhile, the Warden may try and shut things down here as well. All right, what's going to be happening here? Mountain King, is it going to try and Stormbolt? Oh, yes, it is going to go ahead and Stormbolt this Druid of the Claw right here. You can see that the Dragonhawk Riders are all right there. And is the Demon Hunter going to be able to make a bit of a play? Staff of Preservation saves it. There is a whole bunch of shackles, as we now see it, a very strong engagement here. All right, Blood Mage, Fan of Knives quickly brought over, but able to use the Scroll of Healing to try and counteract everything once again. Okay, it looks like Knights are going to get taken. No, Staff of Sanctuary saving that Knight. Once more, another Fan of Knives being brought over, and the Dragonhawk Riders almost able to finish off all of the Hippogriffs once more. All right, plus 15 attack, 1 Hippogriff down to 4 hit points. If that, I got to admit, if that one Scroll of Town Portal was just a second later, then it would have perhaps taken down that Hippogriff. Instead, that Hippogriff will live to fight and fly another day. Vengeance, Avatar of Vengeance about to fall here. Warden still sitting at level 6. Demon Hunter with that Staff of Preservation did save a bear, and that bear is now regenerating some hit points. Not quite sure why it went back into Druid of the Claw form. Should have stayed in the Druid form there. That way, it would have regenerated all of its hit points and then transformed to pretty much be at full hit points once again. All right. Siphon Mana, Blood Mage, pretty much maxed out on mana, right? Now maxed out on mana. Mountain King is sitting now at level 5. Things are looking good once more for Infi. But Czech does know some tricks to play with this Warden. If the Warden can perhaps come inside right here. Oh, you can see a Warden right there. Let's see what's going to be happening. There is a Fan of Knives going after some units, and you can see that this one unit here is just going to be able to summon up so many Avatars of Vengeance. That Warden going to be causing a lot of problems right here. Another Fan of Knives coming out, and so far 6 Spirit of Vengeances are now out on the field. Infi going to lose this one guy right here, and now perhaps lose even more units, more Fan of Knives going down. The Avatar of Vengeance needs to hide in the very back. As you can see, all the Spirits of Vengeance is now going after the guard tower. Scroll of Town Portal now coming back over here. No, Staff of Teleportation coming across over here, as the bears not really worried about the fact that there are Dragonhawk Riders in the air. Avatar of Vengeance still in, causing some problems across down over here, as the base is now pretty much empty. You can see that the Avatar of Vengeance can still summon more Spirits of Vengeances as soon as those other Spirits of Vengeances do, their time life is down. Infi now going into what human players do when they are in trouble against a Night Elf player, going for siege engines to try and take down all of the buildings of the Night Elf base. But there are a significant number of bears that Czech can use. All right, let's go ahead and try and engage here. Let's siphon mana away. Fan of Knives does come across. Is it going to be enough? Anti-magic potion now coming across as the Mountain King does fall. All right, Demon Hunter with that Orb of Venom able to finish off a handful of other units, as Infi losing a lot of Dragonhawk Riders. Down across over here, Bears now making its way over, and that siege engine will end up getting taken down. Back across off to the north, you can see the Spirit of Vengeance is now pretty much trying to finish up this base, as Infi is now running out of options. Down over here is where the majority of the gold is, and let's take a look at it. 62 over 60 supply as the Demon Hunter now gets up to level 3. Dragonhawk Rider is trying to do a bit of chasing. It looks as though the Demon Hunter will get taken down to 12 hit points, and it looks like he's running for the hills. Staff of Preservation saves him, teleporting him all the way back off to the north. Moonwell healing him back up, and now perhaps, yes, one Druid of the Claw gonna quickly rejuvenate him. Rejuvenate him back up to pretty much full hit points. All right, Dryads now looking to engage. There is another beautiful fan of knives. And you see the siphon mana onto that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter unable to get a mana burn off. You can now take a look back down over here. Mountain King using that Squirrel Town Portal in order to get away. He will be able to get away and live to fight another day. As the Avatar of Vengeance here, enough damage was dealt. Enough problems were caused. 3-2 air units though, as the Mountain King now going to staff up teleportation out of that rather tricky spot. Mountain King healing back up, going to be making their way off to the north. Let's see. Down across over here, Infi needs to take down a farm or so in order to break free from here. More gold now being harvested as well. 7,000 gold left here compared to 2,700 gold. Main gold mines are going to be mining out here in just a moment. So overall, is the relative gold about the same? No, it is not. Night Elf has more remaining gold, and Czech is in a good position as long as he continues to trade. If at least in a 1-to-1 capacity, he will come out ahead as long as he's able to continue to do the job he's doing. All right, Warden now finishing off a number of peasants. Let's take a look at this. This one peasant gonna get taken down again. There it goes, as the Warden sitting at level 7 has used a Clarity Potion and continuing to deal more damage. All right, he's going to teleport back out. Staff of Teleportation away. Going to join up on the fight. There you have it. Warden is now going to be ready to go here in just a moment, as this Dryad really cannot afford to be in that forward of a location. Wow, somehow ends up surviving. All right, let's go ahead and continue to take a look across over here. Dryad's now continuing to pressure onto that Mountain King. Mountain King taking a lot of damage, trying to run away, trying to run back. Demon Hunter pretty much going to get another easy mana burn off on that Mountain King. Mountain King still running for the hills, and it looks like the Mountain King may try and wait. No, he's just going to end up getting mana burned if he's not careful. Demon Hunter, however, out of mana, takes a Storm Bolt for all of his efforts. All right, backing away, Demon Hunter perhaps going to get a little bit more mana once again. Got to be very careful here. Warden is sitting at level 7. Both sides are in questionable territory. You can see one Dragonhawk Rider going to be rejoining here in just a second. Banish Bolt onto a Druid of the Claw, but the Druid of the Claw now headed back off to the north. Could go into the ethereal form, or it could be coming across now and over here in just a moment. Going to be now remaking their way and to head back down across over here. All right, Warden now making a position back across. It looks like these units are going to be actually in a little bit of a trapped location. Warden up in the front should be able to well, where is the Warden? Warden is now down across over here. My apologies, my phone keeps on ringing. As the Blood Mage may be able to finish off a handful of units here. You can see the Blood Mage now trying to get away. Meanwhile, back across over here, Infi now just using the Dragonhawk Riders and the Griffins to try and focus down a handful of units. With no more Hippogriff Riders in the air, the only real anti-air is going to be that Demon Hunter and that Warden. The Demon Hunter and the Warden, if he can grab an Orb of Venom as well, should be able to help. Mountain King will be able to teleport away just in time though, as this one Druid of the Claw should be rejuvenating himself here in just a second and goes back into Druid form for no real reason other than, well, he doesn't want to be full up on hit points. All right, back across over here. Air units of Infi trying to finish off all of these units here. Infi making a very strong play right here. He is also purposely staying out of upkeep in order to harvest more gold. Meanwhile, Czech is still mining with upkeep, so that is actually going to end up hurting him even further. Now let's take a look at this. All right, are we going to perhaps see a Druid of the Claw get taken down? It looks as though one could get taken down right there. Yes, it does. Dryad's now trying to come back over, and Infi is just doing constant hit and run tactics. doing a very, very great job here, as we now see the Dragonhawk Rider now trying to get away. All right, Dragonhawk Rider's trying to pull away here. Are they going to be able to get back? Yes, back over that line across. Meanwhile, Warden going to go ahead and engage right here. Bash onto the Warden. The Warden going to be able to blink back down to the south. Now blink away. Level 7 Warden, so hard to keep track of. Blinks are pretty much free with no cooldown at this point, as the Warden gonna perhaps just anti-magic potion right there and now finish off some more units. All right, more peasants getting taken down. There goes another peasant again. Is he gonna get off another fan of knives? Yes, another fan of knives, finishing off another handful of units and now able to blink away pretty easily again. That Warden, such a difficult hero to deal with, as both sides are not able to mine freely. Dragonhawk Rider is right there. Warden now gonna try and engage. There's a fan of knives. Coming across just in time right there. Dryads getting a couple of poison spears into those Dragonhawk Riders. Once again, those Dragonhawk Riders are now backing off, as you see siphon mana away from... Oh, nope, Staff of Sanctuary able to teleport the Blood Mage away. Check and Infi just doing so many things at the same time, playing an awesome game so far, as we're now looking at the Dragonhawk Riders and the Paladin now making their way back across. All right, let's take a look at this. Demon Hunter now using Rejuvenation, getting healed back up. Dryads are upgraded 3-1. There are a couple of Hippogriffs in the air. This is going to come very, very close, and Check is still mining with a bit of taxation. Meanwhile, back across over here, now in low upkeep, but it doesn't matter anymore, because, well, I guess it does matter. So you're still mining a little bit off to the north right now, but he wants to build up a large enough army to really deal with his opponent. Dragonhawk Riders and Griffins will be ready to go here in just a second. All right, coming across over here, Blood Mage, Mountain King, all these units now going to be ready to go here. They're going to be trying to put pressure, and Infi right now has constantly been attacking where Check has not been. This very mobile air army just causing so many problems, as a Hunter's Hall will now get taken down. All right, Dryads now showing up to the party here. There is 3-1 upgraded Dryads. The Dragonhawk Riders know that they do not want to stick around for that fight. Even though the Dryads have less hit points, that slow poison does make running away very, very difficult. All right, coming across back over here. Warden. Oh, is the Warden going to be able to do anything? The Warden really should get an Orb of Venom for herself. That's really where a lot of the things are. And beautiful Staff of Sanctuary on a full hit point Mountain King in order to teleport him instantaneously back home without any problems. All right, let's go ahead back down across over here. Dryads now going to be picking apart. It looks as though, yes, another Staff of Sanctuary. It looks like the Blood Mage, the Paladin, and the Mountain King, all three have Staffs of Sanctuary, so they're able to constantly move units around relatively quickly. All right, Scroll of Protection now being used. One mortar team being added into this mix as well to try and deal with some of those Dryads. Dryads have to be extremely careful. Unarmored units take a lot of damage there, as we now see Siphon Mana away. Warden now in trouble, taking a lot of damage. Anti-magic potion. Are we going to see Fan of Knives come across? Yes, we do. Holy Light quickly heals up one of those units once again, as the Warden, now low on mana, needs to get some more off of those Moonwells again. All right, these Moonwells are maximized a bit, as we're going to be looking at the fighting now continuing to make their way through. All right, Mana Burn onto the Paladin. What is it? A couple of Shackles now coming across, as we see Scroll of Protection. Fight. This is for everything right here, right now. Everyone's just trying to engage with what they've got, and it looks like Infi's army is just going to be far too strong here, able to continue the push. The Dragonhawk Rider is going to be able to focus down the remaining Dryads, and with that, I think that is going to be the game. Paladin is still up in that front lines, both sides constantly engaging. The Dragonhawk Riders focusing down the Dryads, and gonna try and focus down that Demon Hunter as well. Demon Hunter continuing to engage here. Both sides fighting. Avatar of Vengeance still not gonna be enough. Too many air units. A lot of Dragonhawk Riders are falling, but the number of Dryads are now dwindling down to nothing. Warden so low on hit points. Warden gonna get, oh no, healed at the last second, and now gonna perhaps try and get off one more vicious Fan of Knives to take down some units, but does not get it. Demon Hunter falls, and Check gives the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2.